Hello guys, and welcome to day 2 of this full stack application here. We will continue building our modern hospital management system, and the last time we built this homepage here, including this section here called About Us. We have our team section and we have our footer down here. So now in today's video we'll come here, or we just continue working on this homepage here. But for now, we'll just work on this login. When you click here, login, you'll see this prompt here that is prompting you to log in using your email and password. But there's another feature. If this application loads, after a while, we should see a prompt appearing here. And these are some of the features that are being implemented by websites out there. And I felt it is important that I develop and implement it for you guys. So let's see, after a while we should see a prompt here like that, this one here, and it is appearing automatically after a few moments in our application. And if the user don't want to log in, they can just close this module here if they don't want to log in, and they can continue scrolling down here and see down what is happening, or they can continue reading through our website. So another thing that I want us to look is we look at modules, because we'll have different modules. Because today we start working on this patient side of this application, and it will be module by itself. So this here, this is a dashboard for patient, where they can see their treatment, and they can see if the doctors, and they can book them. So that's what we'll be doing. And there's no data here because I have not connected this application with our database. That's why you can't see any data here. I'm not running database, and also here you can't see our treatment for the patient because I have not connected with database, and now our application is not fetching anything from our database. So, and we won't be able to access routes like this because this is insecure, and these are the things that we'll do later on this project, because I want to guard these routes here using guards in Angular. So let's see how modules work and why we need them. So I just draw something here, or I'll just start writing something here. So we'll have, or maybe draw some modules here. So we'll have this module and another modules. Application, we have 4 of these modules. So let's create them here like that, and then this one here. We'll have these modules, and now these modules, one will be for the patient, that we'll start with. Then we'll have for the down here for the doctor, the module for the doctor here, and we'll have another module for the finance people here, and lastly we'll have a module for admin here. So what modules do is that it makes your application, or it separate your application into small chunks, so that we can assign these small chunks to different group of people who can develop them independently, and then they can work independently. And these are one of the features that make Angular scalable, and makes the Angular to make application that they can scale in the future and be a very big application. So without much ado, let's get into the tutorial. If you haven't subscribed, kindly consider to subscribe. It will be awesome. It will help me a lot. And then like this video, and let's get into the tutorial now. So now I want us to create this model here that is appearing above this page, and if you look in, you can see that the back of this module has been darkened. So that's what we are going to do. So I'll just come here and make sure we can click on this login here. So let's come here in our code and let's come here in our HTML. So I just want us to wrap everything inside here with a wrapper. So select everything and then let's cut it. So we just add this wrapper and then everything will be wrapped inside this div. So paste everything, and now I'll just come down here and I will create a div that we will be calling it a login container, just like that, or login container, just like that, and then save. So what I want to do, I just want to give it a position absolute so that it appears on above this page, and also I want to add the z index to be 999. So the first thing that we'll do is just come here in our CSS, and before our container, now we have our wrapper. So we just come here and add our wrapper here, and our wrapper will give it a position relative and this relative here. Now after that we have login. Here down here we can have now our login container, just like that. That is our login container, and this one now will give a position absolute because I want it to appear above. So a position absolute top will give it a 0, and a left or left here will give it 0, and then we give it a background color to be of RGBA here because we want to vary on the opacity. So we give it 0, that is black 0 0 0, and then the transparency is what they called it alpha. So I just want to give it a transparency of 1.2, and then what we'll do, we'll add height here. We have height of VH, 100 VH, and a width of 100 VH of VW, that is. So after it loads, let's save and then loads our application. So you can see there's some darkening in here that has appeared above this page, and this is what we are calling login container. So the other thing that we want to add inside it, inside here we need to add another div, and this div we'll call it login item or login item, like that. And then now here is where we start working on our this login here, this item here, or this login item here. So what we'll do, we just copy this class here, go to our CSS here, so down here, so we paste it and then style it. So we need to position where we need to it to appear. So first of all, I give a height of, let's say 500 pixels and a width of 500 pixels. Also you need to give it a margin or a margin of, let's say 200 pixel. And what else can we do? We need to give a background color of white color. Let me add it here, this one here, and then let us see how it will appear. So let's load our application, and you can see we have this here, this white container here. So this is the login item. So I think we have given it a lot of margin, so I will give a margin of, let's say 100, and we'll also add these pixels here to be 600, or the width to be, let me add height to be 5 pixels, and the width should be 600 pixels. So let us see how it will appear now, and I think that it's okay, but I feel that height is a little bit bigger. Or let's see how it appears now. Yeah, you can see. So we can actually play with this height and see where it can appear well. So as you can see, I think now that's okay. So I think it is the same with this here, but it can appear anywhere you want. You can make it appear on this right side here or anywhere where you want. Now we can start adding things here. So inside here in our div here, we can start working on our console button. So we just say div and then button, console button. We call it console button here. So just like that class, and inside here we just add a button and we call it cross, just like that. So we'll just say add it to be cross. So we can just click this, or we can take this class here, copy it, go to CSS and maybe paste it here, and then what we'll do is just say display flex, because we want it to appear at the right side. So we flex and then align items. I will just say center, but just justify content. I want to justify content to flex end, just like that. I need to now style the button. So I'll just say come here and say dot cross, and then we can give it a background color of red and border none. Can give a border none, and then a font size should be 15 pixels. Another thing that we can do is we can let's say add something like we can give a color of white, just like this one here, a color of white, and then padding, can give it a padding of 10 pixels. So I think now we can look at how it will appear. So we can see, so you can see we have this button here. Actually we can give a margin, small margin, let's say a margin of 30 pixels. I think that's okay, or even 20. I think that's okay. And then we'll add font size, our font weight to be bold. And another thing is cursor pointer, so that it looks or it behaves clickable. So after, let's load now. So you can see we have this button here. So the other thing that I want to add is this header here. Let me open it here, and let me open in another tab here because we need it. So let me look at 4200 here, and then let me change the port because we are running two application here, this one. So we need to add this header here, and then this input here, and a login button, and that text here. So let's come here in our div inside here, and now we can start adding things here. So we can say div dot input, and or maybe add login input, just like that. You can add any class that you want. So here inside here we'll have an input, two input, and this one will be for the email. So I will add here a placeholder, and this will add enter, or we say enter email. And we have another input here. Inside here we'll have this input, and we call this input, or this placeholder, we just say enter password, enter password should be okay. And this time it should be of type password, because we don't want to see the password when we are typing. So another thing is the button. Remember we have a button. So this button is for login. So login button btn can call it btn, and then this is login. And another thing that we need to have is the span, and then we can say ask to be registered like that. And then up here we have our h1, we call h1, and this one we give it this name. We copy this name here. Let's just copy this name and then paste it here. So now we can start styling. So we just copy this login here, input. So, and in our css now we can paste inside here. We can paste and start now styling. We can give a margin of, let's add a margin of, like, let's say 50 pixels, like that. It should be small. And then let us first of all see how we can start this style a little bit. Say flex, and then this time is flex direction will be column, and justify content. You say justify content to be all align items, because it is column. We give it center, just like that. And then let us see how it will look like. So we can see now how it works, or how it looks like. So we can specify on things that we want. So we can say login, and then login input, and then let style h1, which is our header, and then we can give it a font size of, let's say, let's give it 30 pixels, and a color of, let's say this one is not a dark color, it's not that dark, it's a little bit dark. And then we can give it a font weight to be bold here, to be bold. And another thing now is to style on input. So we can say login input, and then style input. So we have selected input, and we need to give it a padding of, we can give it a padding of 10 pixels, and we can give them a width of, let's say, 250 pixels, and we can give a margin of, let's say, 20 pixels, just like that. And then let us see how it appears. So after, let's see, yeah, you can see we have this one, and we can give it a font weight. Let's give a font weight and then bold, just like that. And then now let us style our button. So we can select it like this, or we can use the class that we give that button, but I would just use this. You can use either the class that we give to the button, or you can select it using this. So we can give a background color. Actually, let us start with a border. Give a border of none, and a width of the same as the input. So we give the width to be 250 pixels, and again we can give a padding of 10 pixels, and a color should be color of this white here. And font weight or font size, we can give 15 pixels, and then it should be having a font weight of bold, just like that. And then background color here, it should be this blue here, just like that. Let us see how it looks. So we can see now we have that model there. So you can see it appears great. So now the other thing that we need to style is this one, because we want it to have this space here. So we can give a little bit of margin for this button, and our margin can be around 10 pixels. So we can give 20. Let's add 20 pixels and see how it appears. So I think 20 is okay. I think that's a little bit much, so we can give a 15. Let's give 15 here, 15 would be okay. And then we can target now on our span. So login span here. So input, and let us concentrate on span, and we can give a font weight of span to be bold, and we can give a color of that to be this color there. It is a little bit darker, and now I think that would be okay. And let's see how it appears. So let's see. Now I think that's okay. If you need to do some styling for yourself, it's okay. I think it appears almost the same. We can now, what we can do, we can reduce the margin here in our login like this. Let me look at this margin and give it a 50, and then we can give a height of 600 also, and see how it will appear. I think it will appear almost the same. You can play with this here. You can play with this height and width and see which one suits best. So you can give 500 there, and let's see how it will look like. I think this one look like this. I think they are okay. So now the other thing that I want is to show this model here with a condition. So when we load, you won't see it until you click on this button that we have hide there. So we can create a variable here that will do that. So inside our component, our homepage component here, let's create a variable and we'll call it cross. It will be boolean. It will be boolean, and we'll give it false. And remember, it's not a must that in TypeScript you type this variable here. If you just remove this, this TypeScript will know that this is a boolean. So you can't assign it to anything other than boolean. So now we'll have a function that will toggle our button, our prompt for login. So I just say show login here as our function. Let's add here as our function login, and then can add this method. Actually it's a method because it is inside this class. So what we need to do is just say this dot close here, and then we give the opposite. So if it is true, it will be false, and if it is false, it will be true. So now we can use this variable here to control on that prompt. So we can come here inside, or even it is above here, and add a directive called ng if, just like that, and then we just take that cross. So now when the application loads, you won't see this container here, you won't see. So now we want us to, when you click here, it appears. So we just come in our cross here, in our login here, and add a click event, which will give it that function that is called show login here. Show login, just like that. And then let us see how it looks like. So if it appears when you click here, you can see we have that functionality. And now we need to add another event on this button here, so that when you click, it will just close this application. Since the close, it will close this model, since it will have the close variable to be true. So when you click here, it will be closed again. So it will close the model and the login will disappear. So just come here inside our button here in our cross and add event for clicking, just like that. And then we give it a function of show login, just like that, show login. And now I think that's now okay now. So let's load and see if it works. So when you click there, it will show, and when you close now, it closes. But we want us, when we load this application, so a user loads for the first time, this website loads for the first time, it just a prompt to this app, this model to appear automatically after some time. So what we can do, we can come here in our component, and inside here on init, so ng on init, we can say set timeout. So set timeout here, and what set timeout does, it takes a callback function first of all here, and another thing that it takes is the time or the duration that it will delay. So I want us to delay for 200 or 2000 milliseconds, and I need to now turn this close to true. So after this application loads, after 2000 milliseconds, it will toggle this, or it will toggle this close to true. So just assign it to be true. So actually this is this dot close. It will be true now. So it will show that login. It's as simple as that. So let's see. So let's see if it will work. So you can see after a few seconds it appears. So let's see again. After a few seconds it appears. No, you can play with it, and you can add 3000 here and then give it 3000 and see how it delays. You can fine tune it until you come with something that you're happy with. So you can see we have that functionality. So now the other thing that I want us to look at, we have this, and then we need to go on this side of patient here, and this will be a module. So you can see we'll start creating this and the other things here. So let's come here and look how you can create modules. So you can say modules and lazy loading in Angular. So what happens, modules work very well with lazy loading. So lazy loading means that when this application here loads for the first time, it will only load for the things that it wants first of all. So for example, we have our application like this, and let me draw another thing here. So let's call this home component here, home component. So what happens with lazy loading is that when our application starts, so I will add this arrow here. So our application loads here, and the first thing that you see is our home component. So what will happen is that the application will just only load this home component here, and it won't load this here, these modules here. So that's what we are going to implement. So now when you click on login and you authenticate well, it will just now load this patient here, because this will help to make our application faster. So, and if you want to navigate to other areas, it will just load for the others as you require them or as you want them. So if, let's say, you are a patient and you want to just to go on this side of patient, you just come, first thing, you just see the home component, and our application will just load this home component. And when you log in and redirected to patient, it will load now the other chunk of website, which is patient here, and it won't load this doctor, finance, and admin. I hope you can see how efficient it will be, because it will make our application really fast. And this is where Angular beats a lot of libraries and frameworks, because you can use this lazy loading and make your application faster. So to implement that, you can come here and you can see how to create modules. Just come here and read this documentation on your own, and you'll understand what I'm trying to explain. So we just copy this here, this command here, and this command is saying you generate module customers. In our case, it will be patient, and then it will have this route. It will include routes that will tell the Angular that we have this routing to the customer module, and that's okay. That's all. So let's copy this, and in our terminal here, inside here, what we'll do is just copy paste that. So let's let it generate our component, our module that is okay. Let me stop first of all, because I want our module to be called patient. So I'll just call this patient here, and here it is a patient. It should not be a customer, so it is a patient. So let's load now, or let's install the module. Let's generate the module, and then we continue working with this module. So now it have finished generating this module, and when you come in the code here and look in our app routing here, what you see? You see that it has added this route to this patient module. So when you come here in the application and then add slash, let me close this. So and add slash patient root now. You see now it will go to this side of patient here. You can see we have this patient, and in our application here we need to have different components. We have this side nav, which doesn't change even if we go to other areas. So we need to have this here, this side nav, and we'll have this main nav here. So what we'll do, we just generate other component inside our patient module. So we just say ng generate component, and our component name will be, or our folder that we want to generate inside is patient, and then we'll have this as side nav, just like that. So it's generate a component called side nav, and this side nav or sidebar is this one that you are seeing here, like a profile. So let's see if it has finished generating. Yes, it has generated. Another thing that we want is to generate home component. I will call this home because we need to have a home here that loads every time when the user opens here. That home will contain these graphs here and a treatment here. So we have another component called doctor, and this one will be this one here. So let's see inside here in our terminal, and then add doctor component again, so that it, or we can even call it appointment to be specific. So we can call it appointment because that's where we go and look for and start to create appointment. So let's let it generate. It should take a small little bit. It should take a short time. It has generated now. Now we have the component that we need here in our patient. So the first thing that we need to do is come inside our patient routing, and here now you see if you load for the first time, it will look for this patient component here. But I just want us to create something here, children, and children will be embedded on this patient component here. I'll just show how it works, don't worry. So let's add here something called children. So we'd add a comma here and add children, just like that, and then a children would be array. So a value of array. So now inside here, inside our array, we can add paths. So we can give this path. So the first path we need is the default path here. So let me add the default path, and this path, we give it a component of home component, just like that. So the other component that we want is appointment path is appointment, just like this, like this one here, and this appointment we load now the component here that is called appointment, just like that. We load this appointment component here. So why is it giving me errors? So let me see. String type is not assignable to type route. So yeah, sure. So this one should be a component here, should give a component, and then it is appointment component, just like that. That is okay. And now we need to develop our dashboard. So we just come here in our default routing that will appear the first time this application loads. So what we'll do, let me show you here. After it opens now here, it loads this patient component by default, and now that's why we need to specify what we need to appear here. So we'll have a div that we'll call it container. First of all, we have this div container, and then inside here we'll have another div that we'll call sidebar here, and we'll have another one, a div that we'll call main bar, just like this one here. This is the main bar, and what we need now to add here is we need to add our component that is called side nav, just like that there, because this one will appear by default. And now inside here, now main bar, remember this is the main bar here. Let me show you here. This is the main bar, and this one is the one that will be changing every time that we go to different routes in our application. So what we'll do, we'll just give it outlet, router outlet, just like that. And this outer outlet, it gives the authority to Angular to control on routing. That's why we are giving it here, because here it will be controlled through routing, because when we click on home, it just show home page, and if we click on appointment, it will show us another component. But this one here, side nav, it won't change at any time. So let's load and see what will happen. So let's load. So you can see we have this side nav and homework and homeworks and home component here. So let's say we want to go on the appointment side. So in our appointment, since it's a child, we'll add another route here, appointment here, and it should be embedded here. Here you can see now side nav is not changing, but appointment is changing. So we don't want it to look this way, because we need the side nav to be on this side and appointment to be on the other side. So what we'll do, we just come in the CSS, and then we just add this container, or style this container class. We give a display of Rex, and the other thing that we want is to add this sidebar and main bar. So our sidebar here, we'll give it a flex of 1, and then main bar here, we'll give it a flex of 4. Can give it a flex of 4, just like that. And then let's see how it looks. So when it loads now, you can see we have this side nav works here and our appointment here. So but we need, when we load the first time here, we just see this side nav here and home works here. I think that's clear. If you are not understanding, kindly you can go back and then check this video again, and I will be pushing this code to the GitHub, and then I will include the link in the description so that you can go through and see where you have not understand and clarify on that. So now we need to start working on this here, this profile here, and then we'll continue and work on this home here, just like that. So let's add here, or let's start working on this profile here. So what we'll do, we just come in now in our side nav, or because this is where we'll have that menu. So open the side nav, and it is here. So inside here we'll have a div. We have a div that will contain, we call it container also, and we have a div that we call a profile, just like that. And our profile now, I just want to style it first of all. So I just call profile, and this profile I'll give a height of 90 VH, and a width will be a width of, let's say, 300 pixel, and I want it to have a back shadow or background. Okay, let's first of all add a background color to be red and see how it works or how it appears. So we can see we have this one here. So we can have our profile here, but I just want to add some margin because we need it to have a margin. So we give it a margin of, let's say, 20 pixels, or even we can give 30, but let's see how it works or how it will look. So you have this one here, and I will just give a smaller width to 50. I think that would be okay. So yeah, this one, because I want it to just look like this one here. So what we'll do now, we need to remove this red color here, so and give it a background color of white, but we need to have a box shadow here so that it appears. So we come here and look for box shadow. We just look for back shadow CSS. So let's see, inside here we can scroll down. There's a box shadow that I like to use most. So you can just copy this one here, copy, and then paste it here in our profile, and then let's see how it will look like. To just check shape, you can see we have this shadow that has been made here. So now we can start now working it so that it appears just like this one here. So the first thing that we need to add this profile, or this profile here. So let's come here, or let me come inside here, our code, and then our HTML, and then the first thing that we need to add is our image, or even we can start with the hamburger icon here. You can see here we have this hamburger icon here. So what we'll do, we just first of all look for icons. I like to use font awesome. So let's use font awesome here. So a font awesome in Angular. So you can see this one here. I like to use this one here. So because I have used it for most of my project, that's why it gives me the URL direct to this GitHub. But if you haven't worked with them, you can come here and say Angular and then font awesome, just like that, and then let's open it. So the first URL that will be given, it will be the GitHub one. So you should click on this GitHub URL, and it will take you to this page here, to this GitHub here. So the first thing that you need to do is to add these icons, to install these icons here. So you just copy it, and up to there, it will just install the compatible version for you. So that's clear, yeah, and then paste that command there. So it should install every icons. So it is searching for compatible package version, and then it will install for us. So let's leave it so and start working on other things before it continues. So we just say div, and then we call this hamburger icon, just like that, and then leave it like that because we won't wait until it finishes to install. So we'll have another thing here, which is an image. We just look for an image. So for image, I like to use Pixabay. First of all, let's check if it is installing. So I'll just say yes. So for image, I want to go to this Pixabay where we can find any image for free. So you can come here and say something like a girl profile, just like that, and let's see if we can find one. So we can take any picture here for now. You can take this one here. So copy this image address and then paste it inside here. So just like that, and then the other thing that we need is this one name here, good status, and then features. So we have spans, we call them spans. So we have a span, and this span we'll call it, we'll add a name, and this name we call gendo. It's just a placeholder. We'll have a span again, and this span now here we call it or we give it status. We say status, it is good. And another thing is we say span, and this one span will be for feature, just like that. Another thing that I need to add are these buttons. We have 4 buttons. This one, home, book appointment, buy drugs, and log out. So we just add button here. This button we'll add for the home. Actually, we give a class of home here, and this one, or I just say home btn because I think we have another home, or actually we don't have another, so I just call it home. So and add this home. We need to add this as home here. And another thing that we need to add is we need to add another button, that is book appointment. This one actually we can give a class of appointment, just like that. And then you can have this button here, another one, and this one is for buy drugs. So buy drugs, like that. And this one we can give it, okay, we can give it a class of drugs, or drugs, just like that. And then the other one is for login or for logout. You can give logout here, and we need to have a class here called logout, just like that. I think now that's okay. So we have this one here, our icons installing. So it has not finished, so let it install. So I just want us to see how our application now looks. So you can see how our application looks here. So the first thing that we need to do is to style everything. To start with our hamburger icon here, or we can start with this profile. So just come here and we just say display flex. You need to say display flex, and then flex direction to be column, just like that. And then align items to be center. So just like that. Let's see. So you can see how it appears. Now we need to target the image for now. So the image or the dot profile image, and we include this image here. So we need to give it a height of 200 pixels and a width of 200 pixels also. And what we can do object fit and contain. And to make it loud, we need to add border radius here, and we give it a border radius of 50 pixels. Let's see how it appears. So another thing, we can give it a cover. Let's see if cover will work. Okay, so let's see. So that's okay. And again, we can reduce on this height and width. So let me reduce this to a smaller picture, and a margin, we can give a margin of, let's say, 20 pixels, just like that, and see how it appears. So you can see how it appears. That's okay. So now we need to target on these spans here. Let's see if it has completed adding our icons. So yeah, it has added our icons. So now we need to add this, or to target this span. So to target this, the first span here, or we can even add here class and call this name, and we can give this a class of status, just like that. And this one, we can give a class of feature, just like that. So let's target this name. So here, you just come down here and target this name, and a name, we give it a color of green, just like that. And font weight should be bold here. So let's see how it appears. So I think we can give it a 900 so that it appears bolder. So let's see how it works. Yeah, then I think that's okay. You can add font size to have a font size of 18 pixels. Let's see, font size of 15 pixels, yes. And then we need to give it animation. There's animation that I'm giving it here. You can see it is appearing and disappearing. So that's only a functionality that I wanted to show you. So let's add something, the animation. And to add such animation, what you do, you just add animation property here, and we can give it a name. We give it a name of in progress, like that. And then we give it a time that we want it to animate, and then we say is, and then we say alternate infinite, just like that. So to target on this animation and to use keyframes, we just say add keyframes, and then we'll give this in progress, just like that. And now we can include the where or to or from. We want it to start from opacity of 0 to opacity of 1. So it will appear and disappear because you are hiding and hiding it. So let's load and see if it works. So you can see it appearing and disappearing. You can add on, if you want to bring a little bit faster, you can add those seconds there. You can 0.5 and see, you can see now it is appearing and disappearing in a faster manner. So I would just leave it at 1. So I need to format our code a little bit. So let's format it like that. Now we need to target on our status, and our status, we just need to add this one here. Actually, let me add it below this keyframe. So let's come here, add it there, and then what we can do here, we can add font size to be having a font size of 20 pixels, or we can give it 18 pixels, font weight or 18 here, and font weight here can give a font weight of 900. Another thing that we can add, or I don't think if there is anything that we can add now, that's okay, but we can give a margin of 20 pixels because we want some space, so we need some space here around it, so we can give it 10. That's margin is bigger, so let me move on this space. So let's see how it looks like for now. So you can see we have this status here, and let us check on another thing. Let's check on this application here and see now we have features. So we can add on, or we can target these features here in our CSS. So dot feature here, and we just copy everything from above here. So let's copy it and paste it here. So let's see how now it works, or how it looks. So now the other thing is to actually, I will remove this margin. The other thing now is to target on our buttons. So what we do, actually I will just target every button here inside, and to target on those buttons we can add now the background color. Let me say sky blue. Can add this sky blue. We can give it a color of, let's add white. Another thing that we can add is border none padding. We need to have a padding of 10 pixels. A width, you can give a width of 200 pixels like that, and then a margin of 10 pixels, just like that. Let's see how it appears. So you can see we have this here. So I need to add or look for a bluish color that is more visible than this one here. And actually we have the div that we didn't add anything, and it's this one for appointment here, book appointment here. So to get that color, you come here in our home page, and then we have a blue color. Can look for a blue color inside our home page here. So let's look for that blue color, this one. So copy it, actually now close this here, and inside here our side nav, so we can add that rather than this sky blue, now we can add that color there. So let's see how it look. So I think that's okay. I think it should be okay, but let's look for another color that is it's more, that looks like that. So I think that's okay. I think that's the one that we have used. So yeah, kind of the same. So you can work on that, but we need to target this one here to give it a different color. So what we can do, we can say dot profile and then button, and I want to get the last child. So I want to get this last child here, and then we can say background color. We can give it this color here, an orange color, just like that. And then let's see how it appears now. Okay, now that's okay. So we need also to give it a cursor pointer because it will be clickable. Actually, out of them, we should give a cursor to be pointer. So I'll just copy this one and add it here. So now let's see how it looks. So it's okay. Let's give a font weight to be bold or bolder, so such something like that. Let's see. So I don't see any change, so I think we can give it 900 font weight, and font size, you can give a font size of 20 pixels, just like that. And then let's see. Yeah, that's a little bit bigger. So let me remove this actually and see if it will work. Yeah, that one is okay. Now the other thing that we need from here, we need these icons here. We need to import these icons here. So to use those icons in Angular, what you need to do, you'll add a module called font awesome, this one here. And because we are using a module as our patient module, so we won't add that module here. We just add that module here inside our patient module because we'd use it in this module. So we just add font awesome module, just like that. The other thing that now we can do, come here in our component, in our side nav component. Actually, let me close this home here, and here in our component, so what we'll do, we'll just import it now. We can import just like this one here, import it, add it here, just like that. Another thing that now we need to do is to initialize them. So to initialize them, you can initialize them just like this one that they have shown us. So let's initialize it here. Actually, I just initialize it outside here. And the other thing, now what I can do is now to use them, you can use this code here. So let's copy it. So let me copy it here. So I have copied it. So inside our HTML now, we can use this icon here. So just like that, as simple as that. So let me save and you'll see. Okay, so you see it's not a known element, it is part of this module. Okay, we are having this error now, so I don't know why we are having this error. So I think now is this one font awesome is giving us error because we didn't add it in our import. So let me import it there and then let it load now. And that was the problem. So you can see now we have this icon, but now I need some icons. I need some other icons. First of all, this one should be, we need to add this one here. We need to import some icons like bars, which are, this one are for the hamburger icon. We have other one like far home, this one here. Another icon that we need is for doctor icon, for user doctor. Just let's see, for user, and then it should be doctor or users. I think it is users and then doctor. Okay, it is not appearing, so let's continue with first sign out, just like that. Sign out. Okay, that one there. And we have another one for hospital, so I'll just use for hospital here, this one here, like that. And then let's see if for the doctor it will appear. So let's see if user and then doctor, it doesn't appear, so we can use another one. So we just add maybe for user, just like that, this one here. So just like that. So we need to initialize them as usual. So we just add here far home, and okay, this one, and this one is far home also. So we give it, actually I think I just give it home just the same way. I will initialize it the same way. So far home, and then far bars, and this one should be far bars, just like that. And then far sign out, or I call it logout, just like that. Okay, should be small. So far sign out alt. And another thing that we'll initialize is far hospital, or I call it hospital, and we initialize it as far hospital. The other thing that we want to add is far user, or we can call it user, and add it here as far user, just like that. I think those are okay. So now what we need to do, we just come here, we change this to far bars, just we have initialized it. So let me see how we have initialized it. Yes, far bars. And now we can copy this here to add it on our buttons. So in our home here, we need this one here, and this one is far home here. We need to add this one here for appointment, and this one we add this to be far user. Or let me confirm how I call it. It is user. So this one is user here, just like that. And then this one here, we call it hospital, or far hospital. It is hospital. So come here, change to be hospital. The other thing that we need here is now this logout. So we just add this logout here, just like that. And then let's see how they appear. So we have this one, hospital. Okay, I misspelled it. So here's hospital, just like that. Let's save and see how it appears. So you can see we have these icons here. So the other thing that we need to do is to give them a class and then target them. So we'll have this class here, have a class, and then we call it icon. Another class here, another class, we call it icon, the same class, and then give them icon. And then the last one here, class, and give it a class of icon. So let's go in our CSS and add this class of icon here. And now what we can do, we can add the font size to be font size of 20 pixels, and then we can give margin right here, and we can give it 20 pixels, or we can give it 10 pixels. We can give a cursor to be pointer, just like that. And let's see how it looks now. So let's see, we have that here, and we can see we have added a lot of margin. So what we'll do, we just first of all make this one little bit smaller, just like that. Or we can even remove this font size and then see what happens. Actually, you need to reduce the margin here. You can give a margin of 5 pixels, and the padding is okay. So let's see. So if we have not saved here, let's save, and then let's see. Yeah, I think that's okay. That's cool. So we need to push this one to the far end here. So we can just target this hamburger here icon. This hamburger here icon, you can add a class and call it hamburger icon, just like that. And then let's select it, add it in our CSS, here. Okay, now this is a lot of space, so let me style it, or let me format it. So let me add this display flex. Actually, I can target just this div here, hamburger icon, because I had already given that class there. So just add it there, and then I just say flex or justify content to be flex end, just like that one. So let's see how it appears now. So let me add align items center, just like that. And then let's see. Yeah, I know where the problem is, and this is because we added here as our profile to be the children to be align items and then center. So what I can do, I can just remove this first of all and see what will happen. So yeah, you can see this one here, how it is appearing. And now I think we need to add it here, to return this line of code there. And again, so let's see what will happen here now. Okay, let's see, it can be here. Or what another thing that you can do now, we can just give this, or we can just add another div here inside. What we can do here, we can give another div. So first of all, let me remove this space, so just like that. And now we can add another div, and this div we can call this div profile item, just like that. And then add now everything except this hamburger icon there. And then let me cut everything here, just like that. And then you can add it inside here, inside that div now. So let me first of all format. So now what we'll do, we just copy this, or we just copy this item here and add in our CSS. So in our CSS here, we'll have this class here, and what we'll do, we'll just remove everything from here, this display flex, and then we'll give this inside here. So let's see. So you can see now it is okay, but we need to give this, or to push this hamburger icon to this end here. So what we do, I can see the problem, and this is because we named this class different with this one. We can see here we added hamburger icon, and we can add here now the right class. You can say hamburger icon, or we can copy this and now paste it in our HTML. So copy it in our HTML here. We can come here and add it, this one here. So that's it. So yeah, you can see we have, it has been pushed. Yeah, and what we can do now, we can add a font size to be 20. Can add this to be 20 pixels and a margin of 20 pixels, like that. And then let's see. Yeah, I think that's okay. So now I need to to search for this color here. I don't remember it on top of my head because we can change it to be the color that we want. So you can just here and play with every color that is here. So I think we'll look that in our next video. I'll have searched that color, or I will confirm that color. So let's see. So we need to have this color similar with this one. So but that one we'll do in our next video. So I think our tutorial will end there, and I will see you in the next one. Kindly remember to subscribe and to like this video and comment if you have any challenge, or if you want or you need to clarify on something. So let's see you on the other video. I'll start now to work on the home page and the appointment and logout functionality. So have a great day. See you in the next tutorial.